Captain, what happened?
It appears our alien friend likes its privacy.
Why do aliens always seem to invade the Enterprise?
Actually, Pavel, last year, 5 different alien species tried to take over the USS Regulus. The Enterprise is at it relatively easy compared to them.
But why do all the competent aliens always seem to invade the Enterprise?
Kirk to Scott. Come in, Scotty. Kirk to Uhura. Come in, Lieutenant. Kirk to sick bay. Bones, where are you? Computer. Kirk to Scott.
Captain, I got bad news for you. This rift is affecting the hull of the ship. Our hull integrity is dropping fast.
How bad is it, Scotty?
It's at 92% and dropping rapidly. According to our system specs, if it drops below 63%...
Put as much powers as you can to the shields. Use them to support our hull integrity. Divert as much power as you can to the sensors. Let's find out what's causing this. Evacuate all people from the outer decks. Divert power from life support on those decks evenly to shields and sensors. Put as much powers as you can.
That will probably only buy us a few minutes, Captain.
Do it, Scotty. Every minute counts. Kirk out. Kirk to Scott. Come in. Kirk to Uhura.
Captain, I've moved operations to Galileo 2 shuttlecraft. I've sent a message to Starfleet Command, and I've rerouted internal communications to run from here.
Lieutenant Uhura, what happens if the shuttle bay is hit by an explosion? That's one of the most vulnerable areas on the ship.
That's a risk I'm prepared to take, Mr. Sulu. I've activated the shuttle's shields for protection.
Good. Be prepared to evacuate the shuttle on my signal. Kirk out. Kirk to sick bay.
Jim, what the devil are you doing to the ship?
I'm not the one doing it. Spock's gone, Bones. Someone took him from the ship. Some aliens that I've never seen before.
If you can get me a medical scan, I might be able to find some way to combat them. Make that a priority. McCoy out.
Is it my imagination, or is Dr. McCoy getting a little power crazy lately?
I'd say a lot power crazed, Hikaru.
Captain, there's some sort of barriers on the walls and the doors. Our sensors cannot penetrate it. A single life form, non-terrestrial, carbon-based. It doesn't seem to be doing anything to our controls. In fact, it's not doing much of anything. Captain, I'm getting a sensor reading on the alien. I'm sure Dr. McCoy will find this data very interesting. Don't worry, Captain. If we can't get Spock back, I wouldn't be surprised if he got himself out of this mess.
I'd like to think so, but I fear there are limits even to Spock's abilities. Am I mistaken? Or do I get the impression the intruder could do a lot of physical damage if it wanted?
It doesn't need to. The Antares Rift is doing all the physical damage that is necessary. Well, Sulu, when the Enterprise is in trouble, who do they turn to save the day?
And guess who doesn't get the glory?
Or the credit.
Yes, let's not forget the credit.
Stop complaining, gentlemen. And I thought McCoy was a Major League grouser.
Well, Jim, I leave you alone for 5 minutes and look at the mess you've made.
Don't worry, Doctor. I'm all right. You don't need to treat me.
Then why are you here?
I'm just with the captain. I'm feeling great. You don't have to...
That's fine, Lieutenant.
Hello, Doctor. Nice weather, isn't it?
You're a navigator, not a conversationalist, Ensign.
Yes, I am. And an unappreciated navigator at that.
If we keep having these random explosions, Doctor, I'm afraid your sickbay is going to be overflowing.
I thought you were a helmsman, not the bearer of bad tidings.
I do many things well, Doctor.
Well, Bones, it looks like we have to save Spock in order to save the Enterprise.
That's a tough choice, Jim.
Here's the sensor scan, Bones.
Jim, this says our invaders are Vaurians.
Vaurians? But they're extinct. They died out at the time that Cochrane invented the Warp Drive. They were slaughtered in the Three Systems War.
Jim, I know my history.
but I also know my anatomy. The alien in auxiliary control is a Vaurian. There's only one strange thing.
What's that?
This creature isn't capable of doing some of the things that you described. It's an ordinary Vaurian. No special organs, no unusual brain patterns, nothing that traditionally suggests superhuman feats.
Can you neutralize it, Bones?
Actually, it's a female. And yes, I know of something that can incapacitate it without harming it. A gas mixture. You'll have to pump large quantities into auxiliary control for it to be effective, but it should work almost immediately. Here's the gas, Jim. Be careful with it. There hasn't been a Vaurian in 150 years.
Communicators taken.
Kirk to Scott. Come in, Scotty.
Captain, the hull degradation is continuing. It's currently below 92%, but at the rate it's dropping, we have less than an hour before the ship is destroyed.
Captain, there has been an explosion near the shuttle bay. I'm fine. There has been no significant damage.
Any luck communicating with Starfleet Command?
I have made contact with the light cruiser USS Jefferson, sir. It will reach the edge of Antares Rift in 16 hours. The Rift is playing havoc with communications.
Thank you, Lieutenant Kirk out.
Captain, do you think we'll get out of this alive?
I really don't know.
That doesn't give me much confidence. Really, Captain, do you think we'll get out of this alive?
Are you trying to suggest we won't? Will I have to put you on report for threatening morale?
Thank you, sir.
This is not one of my better days.
Captain, if we get out of this alive, can we have shore leave?
Well, you hear what Mr. Scott said about us needing to go to a starbase.
Actually, Captain, I had something a bit larger in mind.
Chekhov lives for shore leave.
I do not. Well, maybe a little bit.
There's an awful lot of corridors on the Enterprise.
Mr. Scott looks a bit more frazzled than usual, Captain.
Well, what do you expect, man? I'm not a miracle worker. There's only so much a person can do.
Captain, surely you must have a plan.
Of course I do. I just need to find out what it is, that's all.
Oh, that's very reassuring, Captain.
You know, it just wouldn't be the Enterprise without a crisis.
Sometimes I wish space were a little more predictable than it is.
Well, here we are. The ship is literally falling apart. Space could explode randomly at any moment and destroy the Enterprise, and Spock has been kidnapped by the aliens.
Aye, a typical day on the Enterprise. Captain, is it too late to put in a request for an early retirement?
Scotty, if we hit any more of these random detonations, it'll be mandatory retirement for all of us.
Actually, Captain, I was hoping for a better pension.
This device stores special chemicals that are pumped into the ship's atmosphere when needed, and is operated by the life support system.
I wish Dr. McCoy had given me the specs on that gas injection system. It looks like a rather clumsy fit.
I'll do it, Scotty.
You'd think that Dr. McCoy would have some respect for engineering.
Life support control systems. This monitors and controls the ship's life support.
Let's see how our alien friend likes Dr. McCoy's medicine.
Probably as much as we do, Hikaru.
Mr. Kyle, can you transport me to auxiliary control?
Aye, sir. But I have to remind you how dangerous intership transporting can be. We've really been pushing our luck today.
I'm aware of that, Mr. Kyle, but we have to take the risk.
Look, something's happening. I recommend we use the auxiliary control sensor to see where the alien went.
We have to find out where that alien went. It's the only way to save Spock.
I was hoping the alien would have been more communicative. Why hijack a ship that's already about to be destroyed, then kidnap a single individual, and then say nothing about why you are aboard?
It certainly seemed to have the power to destroy us. Why didn't it just kill us?
I don't know, gentlemen, but we'll find the answer soon, I promise.
You get no response.
You know, this mission has killed any ambitions I might have had about commanding a starship.
Everything seems to be working. Library computer, external sensors.
Mr. Sulu, see if you can find where the Vurian went. Maybe that will lead us to Spock.
Captain, I'm detecting the Vurian. She seems to have vanished through a rift in space. I have the coordinates of her last known location.